Welcome back. I'm going to continue with this Christian Kirk story that I was telling you about. Uh, Kirk is a burner, the guy that can get deep and really stretch a defense. And while the Browns do need that, you just have to know what you are getting with a guy. Kirk doesn't have the strongest hands, and he isn't an elite route runner. Uh, these are things that a player can still improve. He is still only in his fifth year of the NFL, and he's only 25 years old. Kirk would come at a fair price tag and would likely be looking for a short-term deal to try and prove himself as a true number one guy, excuse me. My only fear with the wide receiver position is, why would guys want to come here? This organization hasn't had much such success, and you don't tell me the league has already forgotten about the Odell Beckham debacle just last season. With cryptic tweets by Mac Wilson and really only three others starting caliber linebackers on the roster, and Jacob Phillips, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, and Sahon Tahaki. I would expect the Browns to look for a veteran linebacker. There are three guys listed above who are all adequate, but Phillips and JOK both have struggled with injuries early in their careers. If one of these two guys missed snaps next year with the roster as is, the defense would be in trouble. Now, here are three of them. I'm going to let you know who they are right now. I really liked Neville Hewitt last offseason, but it does appear he may have been a good player on a really bad team after 134 tackles in 2020 with the New York Jets. Hewitt struggled to see the field in 2021 with the Texans and only had 60 tackles. We all know he is a tackling machine if he is on the field, but all in 8 yards downfield, like we saw so often with a guy like Schobert, who I still love. The bottom line is Hewitt is a guy with 7 years experience, over 400 tackles, and will come at a good price. I am not saying he will make the Pro Bowl for the Cleveland Browns in 2022, but he is certain, but he certain is more than capable to play, especially if there are injuries that always seem to happen. And excuse my stumbliness, I do apologize. If not Hewitt, look for Barry to add a veteran linebacker who doesn't cost a ton of money. With free agency looming, the Cleveland Browns franchise tagged tight end David Njoku to keep him from testing the open market. The Browns had two main targets to retain for the 2022 season, David Njoku and Jadeveon Clowney. It was assumed on Monday morning, back a couple of weeks ago, that general manager Andrew Berry utilized the franchise tag on the star tight end and solved one of the team's problems. Cleveland last used the franchise tag in 2011 for place kicker Phil Dawson, and now use it for Njoku, which will cost the team $10.8 million in 2022. I would have loved to tag to. I would have loved a 2-year agreement. Excuse me, but in terms of money, this is great. The Browns were likely going to pay more than that to keep him here for multiple years, and this move doesn't mean they still can't lock him up long term. It just means they no longer feel pressure to get anything done right now. What does what tag means for remaining Cleveland Browns tight ends? What does this mean for others? I'm going to tell you right now. Well, as you know, the Browns released Austin Hooper. Austin Hooper is likely out. I don't see the organization spending that much on the position. Plus, Harrison Bryant is a guy who Barry drafted and seems to have an upside. One thing that wouldn't shock me is for the Browns to take a tight end in the draft to work over the next year and see if they can play, and keep in mind the team does have until July 15th to work out an extension with Njoku. The move applying the tag just keeps him from hitting the open market. The team certainly has more than 2 pending free agents set to leave. Excuse me, but with one of the major ones locked up, it becomes a little easier to breathe. Next on the list, finding a way to keep Jadeveon Clowney. As for Njoku, however, this move was a win for the organization and the player as they can continue to work together on a deal everyone is happy with. We're going to get to some moves the Browns made in just a moment, but right now it is time to reveal the answer to today's Scott Sports 101 trivia question. Excuse me. Which of the following teams has not won an NBA championship? A, the Portland Trail Blazers, B, the Milwaukee Bucks, or C, the Orlando Magic? And if you said the Orlando Magic, you are correct. The Orlando Magic is the only team that has not won an NBA championship in all the years that they have been in existence. I'll have another trivia question on my next podcast, so stay tuned for that. Now, the Browns have found a way to make Baker Mayfield dangerous again. Either that, or they just made a new starting quarterback to be named later. Very happy. On Saturday afternoon, the Browns traded for Cowboys 4-time Pro Bowl receiver Amari Cooper, shipping them a 5th round pick in 2022 and swapping 6th round picks. A league source told Cleveland.com it gives them the number 1 receiver that they sorely needed, especially after Odell Beckham Jr. forced his way out of Cleveland midway through last season, and the trade will be official and was official on Wednesday, March 16th, the start of the league year, and the league year is already underway. The Browns will pick up the remaining 3 years of Cooper's. Actually, they are not going to pick up Cooper's contract. Yeah, it's Cooper's contract. They will pick up, the remaining 3 years of Cooper's contract. At $20 million a year, but none of it is currently guaranteed. His 2021 base salary of $20 million will fully guarantee on March, which now is fully guaranteed on March 20th. That's when it became that. And the Cowboys were poised to release him if they couldn't strike a deal, but the Browns couldn't wait because they might have lost him to the Dolphins, who were interested in signing him. And Cooper, who will be 28 in June, from Miami, and might have wanted to finish out his career at home. The Jaguars were also among the interested teams. Shortly after the news of the trade broke, the Browns guaranteed a five-time Pro Bowl receiver Jarvis Landry permission to seek a trade. Before the Browns release him, Landry is heading into the final year of his contract with a cap hit of $16.379 million. And he'll likely have a hard time finding a taker at that sum if he can't. The Browns would love to have him back at a reduced rate. They met with the reps not last week, but the week before, to discuss a restructure, but nothing was agreed upon. Coach Kevin Stefanski and GM Andrew Berry would like him back at the right price. If the trade or release of him, they'll save about $15 million on the cap. But a receiving corpse of Cooper, Landry, and possibly even a Garrett Wilson of Ohio State with the number 13th pick the Browns did have, but hoping they can still take Garrett Wilson, would certainly jumpstart an epic passing game that finished 27th in the NFL in 2021. The Browns also knew they had to be aggressive because many of the top receivers were already off the market in Atlanta's Calvin Ridley's, Tampa Bay's Chris Godwin, Green Bay's Devontae Adams, and the Chargers' Mike Williams. Cooper's $20 million a year average has him tied for fifth in the NFL with Williams among receivers. It appears the Browns are giving Mayfield every chance to be successful in 2022 and rebound from his worst season in 2021. But Mayfield is looking for a trade. I'll explain why in a little while. He wants to rebound, but the organization has done its due diligence on a number of veteran quarterbacks, and word on the street is that they are still hunting around. Raiders quarterback Derek Carr, who is heading into the final year of his contract and seeking a big extension, has been their radar, and they've done their homework on Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson, who was not indicted by a grand jury on multiple sexual misconduct charges on Friday, and I'll continue this story right after this. Stay with us.